Today we're here with my dad. His name is Kurt, and he's going to show us his favorite way to control weeds. So my dad is a recently retired English teacher of over 40 years and also a recently retired orchardist. So he taught English for 41 years, and then also ran an orchard with my mom and my grandparents for the past 30 some years, and they've recently started kind of selling off their property. So you've been taking care of large amounts of land for several decades.
33 years.
And basically working two full-time jobs simultaneously.
Yeah.
I should add that you guys, when you had your orchard, you guys were organic for many years, correct?
Yes. Yeah, we loved it.
Hard work.
Very much harder to be organic.
I just want to provide a jump-off point to save people time. You are looking for organic or a natural method. This isn't quite it, right?
Right.
This uses a little bit of chemical, so this might not be your video, and that's okay. Just trying to save you some time. So what do you have for us today? What's your go-to for weed control?
Maybe I should tell you what's motivating me to do this.
Okay, yes.
I drive by out here in the country and I see these people in these little sort of semi-farm kind of homes, and some poor guys out there with some little pump barrel sprayer with a cone nozzle, and it's usually he is out there hitting individual weeds, and he's wasting a lot of product. He's probably inhaling a lot of vapor, mist, and it's just being really inefficient. It's taking a long time, and so I want to show a way to really speed this up and make this much more efficient and safe and everything else. Okay, so the first thing we start out with a good backpack sprayer with a little side pump. I like the Solo. It's 120, 30, 40, 50 bucks, something like that. It's a great product. They last a long time if you take care of them. I like it equipped with an off-center 120 degree flat fan T-jet nozzle, and that's this right here. It sprays down kind of toward your feet a little bit, but out, and then out, so it really can cover like 3 foot to 5 foot swaths as you walk, and I'll demonstrate this. And it will hit everything. And true, you're going to spray some of the product on empty ground where there is no weed, but a lot of times when you're spraying, there are weeds you can't even see that are already coming up, and it will smoke those. So
without having to do application after application.
Yeah. And size of nozzle, I believe this is like a 10 or 12 size. Might even be an 8, I don't know, but somewhere in that range works pretty well. So what I'm using first of all is I'm using Glyphosate, 41% active ingredient, and there's different products you can get with that 41%, but 41% is important for the rate here. I'm going to go 3 gallons of water in my backpack, but before I put the water in, I'm going to put in roughly about a 1/4 cup of lawn fertilizer, maybe a little over a 1/4 cup. What I like to use, and I don't have right now, is I like 21-aught lawn fertilizer. It has a little sulfur in it. That's my favorite, but this is all I have right now. So I put it in the little basket here, and then I take my water and I run the water in at a rate that will dissolve most of the nitrogen. I think there's some phosphorus or potash in here as well that doesn't dissolve so well, and I'll throw it out later on. But the white stuff is going to be gone, and that's what you want. And you can see the 3-gallon line is about right here. Oh, right here. There's a 3-gallon line, very faint, but that's what I'm aiming for. So about right here is what I want. So now that our lawn fertilizer's in, we're just going to take some regular house dish soap, sort of makes the water wetter. It's like a spreader.
Does it make it kind of sticky?
Yeah, not stick so much as I just give it a squirt or two. Add that. And now my 41% active ingredient Glyphosate product. For 3 gallons of water, for most applications, I go 1 cup of Glyphosate. If I have something more gnarly, like Bermuda grass, which is one of my least favorite things in the world, or elm trees, seedlings.
Oh yeah.
I go stronger.
Uh-huh. Like double it.
I'll double it for elm trees, yeah, and Bermuda grass, yes. Okay, I've got my cap securely on, all my ingredients in here, and then I'm just going to give it a little
Give it a little shimmy.
shimmy.
A little shimmy. When you said you were going to agitate it, I thought you were going to put it on, like, shimmy around a little bit.
Nope. I'm not going to shimmy
Not
that.
today. All right.
You want to use a mask with this. Probably a better mask than this today. I've got my face covered. You really want to use plastic gloves of some sort, not leather. Leather absorbs the chemical if you get it on there. One time I was spraying and my fitting here had kind of come a little loose and it got my glove wet, which means I'm getting glyphosate on my skin. 33 years.
But you don't go. You don't go. My dad has had many, many. He went kneeboarding one time, and what happened? You took the kneeboard right to the forehead.
22 stitches. Yeah.
We should find that picture.
Yeah. It was good.
It might not actually. It might scare people. Maybe
Yeah,
not.
somebody told me kneeboards can't hurt you. So anyway, all right. So I've got my plastic jacket on in case there's any kind of a drip down from the lid onto my back. It's a little hot, it's a little uncomfortable, but we're not going to do this for too long. And here we go. I like doing it on a tailgate so I can do this and not lift it up and try to sling it. And I get everything set right. So I'm going to just test it here real quick, give it a few pumps here. And you can kind of see my fan. So the first thing I'm going to spray is a little section of my lawn that has some Bermuda grass and some other things that, because we're adding on to our place, I'll show you back here, I don't want this grass to grow anymore because there's going to be a shop here eventually. Now, this is Bermuda grass right here, and the Bermuda grass spreads by runner. It drops little rhizome type roots, and seed, really fine seed, comes through irrigation, and these gnarly roots that are just horrible. So this mix will set it back, will control it for a while. It won't out and out kill it, but here's what I'm going to do. So look at the area here we're going to spray is here. And my neighbor with the little hand pump and cone sprayer, it's going to take him probably, I don't know, it's going to take him a lot longer than it's going to take me. So it's going to take me, let's count it. Here we go. I'd say about a half a minute.
Nice.
30 seconds to take care of that area. Everything's covered because it's a flat fan.
You can't even tell that anything got wet. Like
No.
a lot of those little pumpers soak everything.
And they're wasting
nice,
product. You do not, that's all you need right there.
That's a nice, very light little dusting.
And the other thing about this flat fan is I can make straight edges. So when I started and I put this spray down, I'm making a line. So as we kind of go here, you'll see I can kind of almost draw with this thing when I need to. So like, for example, I sprayed around this wood pile a little bit a while ago. I don't really want to spray the product on my wood because I don't want to be burning wood with pesticide or herbicide on it. So I lower my pressure. I let it drop its pressure by not keeping the pumping going. And I get a much lighter kind of a dose if I just kind of let it go here. It becomes a much lighter spray. Also can be controlled by how hard I squeeze the trigger. So when I get that low pressure amount, I can come in here and I can target things with the point of this and keep it off of the things I want to keep it off of. Okay, and I can walk all the way around this wood pile in just a few seconds and have every weed I want to hit. So it's a pretty big area, and so if you're one of these sort of rural residents with an acre or so, you end up with these long borders you have to control. Now imagine trying to control this with your little stop and drop and pump, 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 cone, 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 as opposed to just walk with your solo, 3 gallons of product, and here we go. Now if you get a little on these huge juniper trees, not a problem. They can absorb some of the glyphosate and be just fine. If they were little guys, I'd be much more careful. I'm not getting all these weeds, but I am getting most of what I'm looking at. Sometimes I'll shoot one in to a gap. You'll see like back there, there's a Virginia creeper back there and an elm.
An elm.
An elm. The loathsome elm.
The dreaded elm.
There. They're kind of ducked down a little bit. There's an elm. There's another elm. See, I'm getting a little on the juniper, not a problem. These junipers have been hit with glyphosate numerous times.
You do this once a year usually?
No, well, in a shady spot like this, maybe twice a year.
Okay.
If it's really a hard sunny spot, about 3 times a year.
Okay.
Now, I've done the perimeter here, I've done the edge. So my next move is, and this is pretty fast. And by the way, you look and see how much product I've used. Where are we at?
We're a little under maybe 2/3.
Okay, so anyway. So now my next move.
Please don't ask me to do math again.
Huh?
I'm just joking.
So my next move is, I'm gonna go ahead and just spray the center. And here we go. And I'm gonna walk just normal walking speed. You see how far it goes across and down. It's going right down to my left foot, in line with it, I should say, and almost out, so I'm getting a little overlap of what I just sprayed. I'll speed up my walk a little bit. The higher you raise it, the wider the profile. And now I'm going to come back and I'm going to finish up road to grass. And I just keep pumping as I go. And this very large area is going to be controlled and look weed-free for up to probably the next 4 to 5 weeks. And even then, it probably won't need another application till, let's see, it's almost middle of May. Probably won't need another one to end of June, maybe. And we're done.
Very good. Very efficient.
So one of the other things I do with this, I mean, you can really fine tune this thing, especially when you're operating with low pressure, low wind. But sometimes like in a landscaped area here with chips or rock, you'll get these little weeds or volunteer things popping up. And I can come in and I can low pressure spray these guys, give them a little shot, and just kind of walk along here and put a fan across them. Here's a little spot here. There's a little grass right there, tough to pull a lot of times. Here's a little of this, I think it's yellow clover. It'll smoke that. I can get close to that rhododendron, get that guy.
Shall we talk about the rhododendron real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just joking. I just think it's really pretty.
There's one there. Don't want to destroy my wife's hydrangeas, so I have to be careful. A little something there. That's the hydrangea you got from Mom.
Yes, climbing hydrangea. It's grown.
Oh, it's taken off.
And
yeah.
you built this nice little corner trellis.
Yeah, a little corner trellis. Yeah.
Grow on up.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yep. I control all my areas with this system. So here's another windbreak here. So here we are on the highway on the other side of the windbreak. Same weeds, much bigger weeds that I sprayed about 3 weeks ago. I made 3 passes here as I made 3 passes
so
in my demonstration.
Same method, yep.
And but the weeds were much more out of control. And this is what the aftermath looks like.
Yeah.
The only thing it didn't kill, because I didn't mix it strong enough, is the alfalfa. The green stuff is alfalfa, very deep rooted, tough to kill. And I kind of like the alfalfa, so I don't really love killing it. I never have killed it.
Well, you're a farmer. You're
yeah,
a farmer.
yeah. So anyway, but I don't like the cheatgrass.
Yeah.
And it's gone. Now I need to get in with my weed eater and
just mow it down.
Mow it down.
Because it's all dead, so it'll just kind of...
And probably a fire hazard. We did all that spraying, and I did a little off camera as well, and ended up using about half of our 3 gallons, which means we used roughly 4 ounces of the glyphosate product.
It's a fairly small amount.
Very small amount, especially when you buy this stuff in a 2.5 gallon jug. And I just used 4 ounces out of a 2.5 gallon jug. 2 major challenges with organic. We started out as organic apples and then shifted into organic cherries. And with apples, it's controlling codling moth organically. And so you use these soft, natural pesticides for the codling moth in apples, and then the cherry fruit fly for cherries. The problem is, if there's a neighbor with cherries, and we found this out 2 different harvests, who does not spray their trees, then one pregnant female can be blown into your orchard, deposit 100 eggs, and the packing shed, if they find 1 larva in one of your loads, and they do a bucket test where they can spot it. And when they spot it, you get a phone call. No matter where you're at in harvest, you could have 90% of your cherries still hanging on the trees, just beautiful, ready to pick. And you get a phone call and they say, you're done. One of the major challenges with organic is controlling weeds. And for most of our organic career, we would take care of weeds manually. That meant you hoe them, or you got some sort of rotavator that...
Not all the time. I remember weeding a lot.
Yes, Haley, you did weed. Okay, yes. Kudos to you, you little weeder, you.
It was horrible.
Yeah. So Haley did weed. So did our son and
friend,
cousins. And a few years ago, a product came out called Weed Slayer, and I was pretty skeptical because it was pretty expensive compared to the conventional glyphosate type products. But it was made out of clove oil. And so it was really kind of a pleasant smelling herbicide. I sprayed my first application with it and watched for like the first week, and the grass looked a little sickly, but it wasn't dying. I thought, this isn't gonna work. And then the next week it looked a little more sickly, and then like the third, it still wasn't dead. Third week still wasn't dead. It took about 4 weeks for the stuff to die. And then it stayed dead for like another 6 weeks. So I'm getting like 10 weeks of control, and then add another 2 weeks for anything substantial to kind of come back and need another application. So I ended up only having to spray Weed Slayer twice a year. And it was safe. Every now and then you get a whiff of something that smelled like cloves. Oh my, you know?
Aromatic.
And then we couldn't get the product anymore.
Oh.
And our supplier said, yeah, they've been tied up in court. A challenge has come from a major chemical company and has shut this little guy down. So here we are without this incredible product. It's pretty sad because it really worked. And especially the fact that it took so long for things to die. Now, if you want instant gratification, then Weed Slayer is not for you. But if you want something a lot safer to spray, that will keep things in the negative mode for a long time. It's a wonderful product. I wish
so hopefully
it was available. Yep.
Well, thank you for giving us a quick rundown on how to manage weeds, especially in a larger area like this.
Yeah.
Very efficient, very effective.
Well, yes. You're welcome.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.